they had people that, when I said I was originally from Marine, they said, "Oh, you shot Mervyn Cons?" They all, everyone knew about Mervyn Cons. We had family in Lake Charles. Their friends, everyone would come shop here. Now during the war it made it harder because they couldn't get gas, but they came and shopped here, and it was known all over this area as one of the nicest department stores anywhere,
Yeah.
And that reputation lived until they closed it. And that was such a sad day when they closed it. It really is. They had the front show windows. They're not there anymore. They just changed them. But when we were little, they had Santa Claus that would move. And if you stood and put your nose on one side of the glass and the other one would stand on the other way and put their nose, and you'd do this and lift your leg and your arm, it looked it looked like it was both arms because you had the reflection in the glass.
Yeah.
That was so funny. We entertained ourselves for hours with that, It didn't take much to entertain us, as you can tell.
That's good though. It's like, it's fun stuff.
Oh, it was fun. It really was fun. And then with the tubes that they would put the things, I forgot what they call them, but when they would send the sales slip up, and if you paid for it, they'd send the change back. Well, the ladies upstairs that would work that machine, if she happened to see that it was us, she'd put a sucker in it to lagniappe for us, or hard candy or something. Always. They spoiled us, like I say, they really spoiled us. But that was fun. And the personal care they took with you, the time they took, and always on the lookout for things that they thought would please you or that you would like.
Do you have any specific memories of sales clerks or something like that, or?
I can't remember the names. It's been so long, and my memory has sort of been affected a little bit. But
or maybe an experience that you can remember of.
Well, I mentioned Mr. Bellan with the shoes, but I can't remember who it was in the dress department that would call whenever they'd get something in that they thought was my taste, and they could pick out things better than I could for myself, And they always knew the size and the style and the brands that I liked and that sort of thing. And then in the earlier years, they had a grocery department too. And we'd get a lot of groceries there. And some of the farmers would bring in stuff, fresh vegetables and stuff too to sell. And they also in the later years, they had the hardware department. And you could buy washing machine, TVs, all that in the later years. But in the real early years, they even sold caskets. They sold caskets, they sure did. They sure did. They sold just about anything that you want. They didn't do the embalming there. They did the embalming at where the hardware store is across the track now. But they sold caskets there. And one of the big adventures I had that I really enjoyed, they had this huge big safe in Mervyn's upstairs where the office is. And Mother was up there selling ads one day and I was with her. And they mentioned something about what was in the safe. And I said, "Oh, I'd love to see that safe." So they took me to see the safe. A huge, huge safe. And they had that safe, but Mr. Kahn opened up the first bank in Marine. And that's the safe the bank used, because the bank didn't have a safe, back in those years. But he started one of the first banks, and that was interesting too. But I'd just never seen a big safe like that. It was huge. Yeah. But really nice. But I missed it when it closed. We didn't know where to shop, Where do you go? And they had other stores that had come in, like Wild's department store. And that was a nice one. And the old Sal Khan store had closed. That was on the other corner corner from Mervyn Cons, and it had closed, and they had a few dress shops that would come in, but they didn't last very long.
You have to go to Lafayette to...
Lafayette and Crowley. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever shop there before Mervyn Cons had?
No.
There were no reason to go?
No reason to go. Everything we needed was right there.
Right.
Now, when I lived in Baton Rouge that year, in school over there, we shopped Dalton's and Rosenfields, I think it was, big department stores on 3rd Street. But I didn't do much shopping. It was not the same with shopping. Nobody knew you, you know.
Right.
And if I found something I liked, fine, but most of the time, no. It was easier to come back and go to Abdallah's or some of those places in Lafayette that I knew. But I just miss Mervyn's. Really miss that store. Still do. It would be great to have it here. But I don't know. The spending and buying habits of people have changed so much through the years. And you can't compete against the big chain stores, you know, like in Lafayette in the mall, those big stores. You just can't compete anymore. But Mr. Kahn was a genius. He really was. And he could see so far into the future to know what to do to make it successful. And they brought in, it was his grandson, I think. I'm trying to think. I'm telling you, my mind's not too good. They came in from, it was the Jan Cower family from Atlanta, I think, and they had a son my age. So we became good friends all through high school, all through school and high school. And so his father took over the management of Mervyn's, and he was a very progressive thinker too, you know.
Was the store Saul Kahn's related? Is that related to him?
Yeah, I think they was distantly related, wasn't close. I should remember that too.
That's okay.
I've heard my mother, but I didn't know my mother would always talk about it, you know, and write about it. But I can't remember. In fact, well, there the dollar store, Dollar General, is where Saul Kahn's used to be on that corner. And they had the tile that was the entryway, and it had Saul Kahn still on. I don't know now since they've expanded Dollar General whether that's there or not. But there were several Kahn families here, because they had a Dr. Kahn too. And he was a very successful doctor here.
Do you remember if Mervyn Kahn did anything special for like holidays? Did they have events or?
They had, I don't know about I can't remember events, but they had decorations that were so pretty. And always beautiful gift wrapping, you know, in those years. That was something too, to be able to wrap a gift. And in the earlier years, I can remember that some of them even delivering them for Mother, you know, like a wedding gift. People would buy wedding gifts there, and they would wrap them and deliver them, which is a great time saver too. Yeah.
So if you have small department, well, not small, like Dillard's and stuff has gift wrapping, but you can't do that at every place now.
No, and you have to wait so long generally to get something wrapped.
Right.
Yeah. Whereas at Mervyn's, you just leave it, you buy it, pay for it, and leave it. And of course, they had the charge accounts. That's what we lived on, was a charge account. You know?
How did those work?
We just get a bill. You just buy stuff and say charge it, you know, and then write a charge slip and put it in that thing and send it upstairs. And somebody upstairs had to keep track of it.
I'm just going to flip this real quick.
Yeah.
So we can start the other side.
Then we get a bill, you know, and pay it. I don't know how big of a charge department, I mean, how many people charged. It was just convenient. Mother would pay a lot. If it was a slim month, we'd pay at the end of the month when the advertisers paid, you know.
Oh, okay.
And then a lot of times she worked out a barter, not with Mervine's, but with some of the other stores. If they advertised, they could advertise free, and we'd get like groceries. That whatever the ad would have cost, we could have gotten groceries for that amount. So bartering. During the war, you had to do it that way.
Right.
No, Mervine's was a great store, and the people in it, everyone who worked there. I don't ever remember having any clerk that was rude or ugly or anything. They wouldn't have lasted very long, I don't think. Because they'd walk around, not Mr. Jankauer. I don't remember Mr. Kahn that much because I was younger. But I'm sure he walked around the store too, and, you know, would visit with the customers, and he could always see what was going on, and nobody dared to be ugly, I don't think. In those years, you just didn't be rude to a customer.